In this week's lab, we'll be studying the angular acceleration of a flywheel. We'll be using the concepts of torque, angular acceleration, and moments of inertia, as discussed in lecture, to describe the motion of a spinning disk. Let's take a look at the equipment we'll use for this experiment. The most important part of the setup is a flywheel. It's a large, heavy disk that spins on a bearing. It will turn freely for several minutes with a good spin. In this experiment, the flywheel is spun by a string wrapped around the axle of the flywheel, just like a yo-yo. Tension on the string will be provided by hanging masses. Here's our setup with the hanging masses in place. The falling weight spins the flywheel, and the spinning flywheel in turn raises the weight. This process repeats. Notice that the disk is spinning most quickly when the weight is at the bottom of its travel. To collect our data for this experiment, we'll be using a photogate. The photogate emits an infrared beam which is detected on the opposite side. When the beam is broken by an object, a light turns on. When the object moves out of the way, the light turns off, and the total time that the beam was broken is recorded. We'll be using the photogate with a slotted disk to make our measurements. By knowing the number of slots in the disk and seeing how quickly the photogate changes state, the computer calculates an angular velocity and an angular acceleration. When setting up the experiment, there are a few tricks that will help you get the best possible results. To attach the string to the pulley, tie a loop in the string. Then cut the loop and tag end close to the knot. This gives a nice big knot that won't slip through the hole in the spool. When you cut the string, be sure to leave enough length so that the weight travels almost to the floor without actually hitting it. Now feed the unknotted end of the string through the hole until the knot rests against the outside edge of the spool. Once this is done, tie another loop in the other end of the string for the weight hanger. When placing the flywheel on the axle, be sure to line up the flat part of the axle with the notch in the flywheel. The flywheel should rest on the top of the spool without rubbing against the photogate or a cord.